And we're back. Welcome back to Eclipse at Dawn. I am Afro.
I'm Silhouette. Hello.
And we are back to talk about E3 after we talked about literally every single conference that wasn't Nintendo. We are now ready to take on the big N itself. So Nintendo, since they've been going digital, usually have pretty good conferences.
Right? Like, I feel like the only time they ever start to not be good is if they don't really have content to show.
Yeah.
You know? So, and that's the weird thing, too, because they're like that. Like, they just have, some years they just don't have much to talk about, because to them, E3 is just another Nintendo Direct that they're almost required to have.
Yeah. Last year was basically the year of Smash. Smash took up a good chunk of the Direct. And while I personally loved it, being a huge Smash fan, I could see why people who aren't as into Smash would be a little annoyed that took up the majority of the presentation.
Right. That said, since it's out this year, we're going to see less of it. I mean, we're going to see it. You can't convince me that there won't be a fighter reveal this year.
Oh, yeah.
And if there's not, honestly, good job.
But we'll get into that a little bit later.
Oh, yeah, I kind of want to end on that.
Yeah, the first thing that Nintendo's got going for it is they got two tournaments going on right before E3. The first one is the Splatoon 2 World Championship, which that begins at noon on June 8th. So that's today. In fact, actually, it's already started.
Oh, wow. Well, you guys are going to see this after that.
All right. Well, yeah, that's going on, and the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate World Championship
again
is happening at 3 on the same day. So 3:00 today. So here's a quick question for you before we get into Nintendo's plans for E3. Do you think that they will show off a new character at the tournament, at the Smash tournament?
I don't think they'll show a new character. I think they'll show a game mode.
Really? At the tournament?
In a weird way, I think that they'll have some kind of like bonus round of some form to be weird, but not as one of those things that's an actual like round of everything. Just sort of a like intermission. Hey, let's have this thing for fun. Kind of like they've done the celebrity match in the past for things.
Okay, all right.
I feel like what they'll do is they'll show off a different game mode, one of the ones we haven't seen in a while.
That definitely would be interesting. Something to come with the 4.0 update?
Yeah, something like that. Because I feel like Ultimate's got more stuff coming game mode-wise than we know about. And well, I mean, obviously than we know about. But then we would be expecting. Maybe we'll see the return of Race to the Finish, and it'll be like a multiplayer racing mode.
That would be really cool.
Oh, actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, maybe this would be the time to make the return of Smash Run. And show it on that stage. That would be hype. That would be incredible. That would be something that people would be really intrigued by.
That would be cool.
Doubt it so much, though.
Personally, I think that they very well could like be in the finals of the tournament, and then they're like, and for the finals of this tournament, challengers can use this new character. And show them off like that, and then have a trailer for them at their actual E3. If they don't do it at the tournament, then they will definitely have something at their E3. But we said, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah, we can talk about who it is later. But I don't rule out that possibility of them doing it that way. If it makes sense, like I think that it's something they would do. But I also feel like Nintendo's very conscious of the fact that not everyone's watching these tournaments. In fact, we're not even watching the Splatoon one. We're making this instead for you guys. I adore you, subscribers.
All 6 of you.
At the moment, yeah. We'll get there. And then, we'll look back at this moment in like a decade and be like, that was a good moment.
I can't believe we finally doubled our subscribers.
Yeah, I know, right? But, I think Nintendo's very aware that people aren't watching those as much, and I feel like they want every eye they can get. So I feel like a game mode makes sense for that, purely because that's something that you can hear about a game mode being added, like when Stage Builder was being added, and be like, oh, cool, and just kind of move on with your life, and not be like, holy crap, I can't believe it. but if they were going to add a character, they want everyone to know that moment. They want that to shake the world a little.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, I guess we're gonna find out in a few hours, regardless. So we'll see what happens then. But for Nintendo's actual for their actual direct, so far we have some confirmed games that we know they're gonna talk about, and games that are likely to show up. Games we know that they are going to talk about, which are going to be games that are on their show floor. Pokemon Sword and Shield. They'll probably have at least a small trailer with that. Like, they had a big direct a few days ago.
Right. And we're going to see, or I think we're just going to see, a bonus trailer, maybe show another one of the gym leaders.
Maybe one new Pokemon, an extra new Pokemon or something.
Maybe a story trailer this time.
Yeah. Super Mario Maker 2, which comes out later this month.
And that's being demoed on the show floor, isn't it?
Yep, okay. Everything I'm saying right now is demoing on the show floor. Luigi's Mansion 3. That's going to be demoed.
That was the weird one in that list to me, believe it or not, because I was just like, wait, really? Mm-hmm. That has enough on it to be on a demo on the show floor? What?
And they're also going to be demoing Link's Awakening.
Oh yeah!
So that's probably going to get a new trailer. Maybe it'll show something a little bit different, than what's in the original game.
I actually have that in my notes too, where one of their descriptions about the game somewhere was they used the word reimagining for Link's Awakening, and I'm like, this isn't a reimagining. You guys have done a square for square remake. From what we've seen of it so far. Yeah. Everything is so identical that you can remake that trailer side by side, you know? Mm-hmm. So I'm curious what they mean. If reimagining's just a flavor word they're using this time around, or if they're serious and there's something remixed about this, something really interesting remixed about this.
I think that they might add some cool things, they might add more enemies from other Nintendo games that are just enemies in this world. Maybe we'll see some Inklings or something in their squid form as enemies in this game. That'd be really cool.
Possibly. I was going to say that there is a theme that I'm not going to spoil for you because you don't know the twist for this yet. And
I know the thing.
The thing to Link's Awakening, yes. The game that's been out for over a decade anyway, so it's not like I should hide this anymore. Okay,
yeah, it's all a dream.
Okay, so for those of you that didn't know,
it's all a dream.
Yeah, but I was gonna say that I don't think that would happen purely because of that dream theming thing. But then again, there are Goombas in this game.
There are Goombas. There's Kirby.
Yeah, Kirby's there because he's a dream. Dreamland. That's the joke. That's why the Shy Guys are also
there. Are Gordos. Heck, Wart's in this game. Wart's,
it's his only other video game.
Exactly.
But Wart's here because, again, he's a dream.
Exactly. So that's why I wouldn't be surprised if they added some new enemies from other Nintendo games, from more recent titles.
Right. I'm just having this off the top of my head this moment idea of what if the reimagining aspect is actually, you know how the game looks kind of like everything's made of toys and stuff? Mm-hmm. What if that's not just sort of a random design choice? What if that's on purpose because it is a toy box? And I don't mean having a toy box kind of mode. I mean that big end game twist as we zoom out and it's been this kid imagining the adventure the whole time.
That'd be really cute.
That looks oddly like Link, and it leads into some other thing they do.
That'd be really cute. That'd be cool. I wouldn't be against that.
Yeah, I can see that being the idea. I don't think that's really going to be what it is, because I feel like the Zelda franchise is cool. They do a lot of cool stuff, but they don't push boundaries that way.
Yeah.
You know?
Let's touch back on Luigi's Mansion 3. What are you expecting from that? Because all we have so far is the little trailer, and the only thing really clue we got is that it kind of looks like Luigi's in a hotel.
I was gonna say Hotel Luigi, Hotel Mama Luigi, the finest hotel that you'll find this side of the Mushroom Kingdom, or the Waffle Kingdom, And I'm hoping that we go back to the Metroidvania style approach to it, the explorative Luigi's Mansion 1 layout setup.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that was something that they didn't explore quite enough yet. And they went with the mission structure purely because handheld play, and they wanted to bite-size things so to finish it.
I hope they bring back a lot of the unique designs that they had for the Ghost for 1, because one had so much variety in its ghosts, and they all looked really cool, and Dark Moon was kind of a little more dull.
Right? I think I know why, or I feel like I know why they got rid of the portrait ghosts idea, though, was just that it's one of those things that, in so many ways, it doesn't feel like a very Mario thing. Like, these feel like something that fits in anywhere else, but in the sense of Mario and the way all that is set up, it seems almost out of place to Nintendo's mind, that is, to the guys there. And that's why my theory for why they got rid of it. But I'm hoping, after we've had voice acting in a Zelda game, which I think we all forget how big of a deal that is.
Even if it was only for a few cutscenes.
Yeah. But, when you consider stuff like that we're seeing a side of Nintendo that's very different. We're seeing what Koizumi is influencing for everything, Mm-hmm. So maybe we will see the portrait ghosts. I think that this is the chance to see something similar to it. But I'm wondering what kind of context they could have for it. Not just being like portrait ghosts the same way. I feel like they do something different. Because there was always a hook to these of some kind. With Luigi's Mansion's case, it was Mario was kidnapped. Oh, and there's these ghosts of the family that owned this mansion that you're finding out about. Yeah. In 2, it was the moon being weird and making the ghosts all go crazier. I'm saying crazier because they were already crazy. Let's be real. But sorry, my brain is being really foggy today.
No, that's all right.
But I'm curious what their new kind of hook gimmick setup is for this one. And is it just going to be playing into the hotel thing? And if so, how much? Is this a hotel for ghosts and Luigi's trying to straighten things out? Or is it a hotel for ordinary people and the ghosts are scaring the guests and you need to try and manage the infestation and keep your guests around?
Well, there's definitely a lot of options for things. I'm not quite sure what we'll see ourselves, but I'm definitely looking forward to it regardless.
Yeah. I can't wait to see more about this one. I've never played a Luigi's Mansion, and this is probably going to be my introduction, and I'm hoping that it's a good one.
Oh, let's hope for the best for you then. I'm definitely going to try it out too when it comes out.
All right.
Another one that they're going to have on the show floor is Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3.
Oh yeah, Black Order.
Yep. Surprise, surprise when this got announced at the Game Awards. Bam, Switch exclusive, just Marvel game. And they're bringing in freaking people from Spider-Verse as well. And all...
Oh wait, are they?
Yeah. Spider-Gwen and Miles Morales are in there.
All right, damn it, now I have to buy the game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sold just for Miles, man.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that looks
if it's Spider-Verse Miles, I'm sold.
Yes.
If it's comic Miles, I'm just sort of here.
No, it's Spider-Verse.
Okay. The one with personality that isn't just Peter Parker again.
But yeah, that's going to be on the show floor, so they're likely going to talk a little bit more about that. Can't remember if they announced a release date for it or not yet.
I don't know either. I won't lie, I haven't been keeping up with it because I've never really played any of the Ultimate Alliance games.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I should have by now. I've seen some gameplay of them. They look like an evolution of the X-Men Legends games and the way those work.
Yeah.
Only these ones might actually be good. So, but I'm hit and miss with this one. I can't decide if I'm interested or not still. So maybe seeing more on it might catch my interest. So we'll just have to see for that.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to see that it's on the show floor. I'm sure it's going to get a release date if it doesn't have one.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But those are all the games that were named. They said and more. So there's probably going to be other games that they're going to be showing that's going to be on the show floor that they'll probably announce during the Direct. Mm-hmm. So at this point, what are some games that you think we're going to see?
Well, before we get to the elephant in the room that is Animal Crossing,
Oh, don't even joke with me, man. I'm expecting Animal Crossing. I'm expecting it, but they haven't
it to be delayed.
They haven't said anything, and that makes me worried. And my living situation is at stake. I told my roommates have been looking forward to Animal Crossing for so long, and they're so excited for this, and they've been waiting for news on it, and like I told them, it's just wait till E3. It's definitely going to be at E3. And it got to the point where like, if it's not at E3, I will move out. So I'm gonna get my cardboard box ready just in case. But I'm sure Nintendo does not want me to be homeless.
No, they want you to be in debt, not homeless.
Well, too late for that. Anyway.
Yeah, too late. College wins. I question Animal Crossing and if it's going to be here for a lot of reasons, but I feel like we're going to see something of it, but it's going to be like what we got with Metroid Prime, where we're going to get a delay. I feel like that's what's coming, and I hate to say it out loud, because it's the worst thing is every time I hear it said, it feels more and more true. You know, it's one of those few things that that sounds like exactly what's coming. It's like with Yoshi, where we were like, will Yoshi's Crafted World, which we didn't even have a name for at the time,
that was
be
2 years
again?
ago, and it got released this year.
Right? Like, we finally got it, but it took a while. And I feel like that's what's going to happen here.
Well, I hope you're wrong.
I would love to be wrong. But that's how I know I'm going to be right. No, I'm kidding. I think we're going to see more Fire Emblem.
Of course, that's a next month game.
Yeah.
Three Houses. What do you think of it from what we've seen so far? We've had directs, trailers.
I think it's the most interesting Harry Potter RPG yet until the other one. I'm kidding. Honestly, I'm not sure what to think, because I'm still very hit and miss with Fire Emblem. Like, I mostly like Awakening, but it never managed to hold me long enough to keep going.
All right.
And I worry that Three Houses doesn't have the kind of story and stuff, like presence to it, to really keep me engaged. But I think the visual department has me sold enough. Like, the way the battles look when you zoom in like that and have the whole army around you looks so interesting and so good to me.
Oh, yeah, it definitely looks cool.
It might really do something for me. But I'm also confused on a lot of the school setting stuff and what's going on with that, and how we can really set up a conflict there. So I feel like that's a game already that I'm going to wait for reviews on, unless there's some huge, crazy information we're about to get that changes my mind.
We'll have to see at E3.
Yeah, but I do like the music we've heard so far, because I really like that main theme.
Yeah, the music's definitely cool. But yeah, Fire Emblem Three Houses will definitely have a presence. Astral Chain, Platinum's big game that they got for the Switch, is definitely going to have something, given its how the focus it was given at the end of that direct, the last direct.
Did they say that they'd have more information to share about that one, or just sort of push it aside, like Astral Chain exists?
Oh, they gave it a release date, actually.
Oh yeah, I know that. I know it's in the eShop actually right now, listed in the coming soon.
Yeah.
So I know it's soon.
They're definitely going to talk more about it. It's I kind of feel like that this is this year's Daemon Ex Machina, or Demon Ex Machina, I think it's actually pronounced.
It's Daemon.
Oh, it's Daemon?
Yeah, it is actually Daemon.
Okay.
Finally, somebody pronounces the way it's spelled, even though I know it's technically still pronounced the other way. I'm sorry, you can't do that. We've had the regular spelling of demon for so long that when you mix them up, I can't say it any other way. But
I think that this one has a bit more interest to it. Nothing against Daemon Ex Machina, but ever since it's been announced, I didn't get a lot of interest from it when it was announced, and they just showed more and had that.
They had a whole demo, which I played the demo, and the demo is actually what made me not want the game. And that's weird, because I was super on board with it at first, because I like the kind of flying combat RPGs a lot, and a lot of games like that. Like, I still love Sword Art Online Lost Song just for being the kind of game that gave me a chance to do aerial combat like that, even if it didn't really explore the idea as well as I'd like it to.
Yeah.
You know? It was just that kind of gameplay always gets my attention, and I was trying to like Daemon Ex Machina. I really was. But there's just this whole thing of game feel it doesn't click for me. You know, and I don't think they could sell me on it, but that's got to be at this conference. They got to do a little more.
They will talk about it. But Astral Chain, what do you think of that?
I think it looks really intriguing out of all of them, and I'm curious if it's going to be a linear kind of beat 'em up the way they've done Bayonetta and all that, or if this is going to take more of a weird mix of that with a Xenoblade 2 world kind of approach, not the open world part, but the city part, and focus in on that one city and try to do a story in that. Maybe LA Noire is a closer comparison to the kind of structure I'm thinking, where you go to all the places, examine the crime scenes, and then you also have these grand battles that's Platinum Games' style. Because they showed these scenarios of the character walking around and like using some kind of VR, AR thing to like recreate an incident and stuff. At least that's what I think I saw. It's been a little while. Yeah. And I mean, that stuff looks really intriguing. And on top of that, having the weird kind of almost Xenoblade 2 blade system going on with your little spirit thingy. Yeah,
the whole astral chain thing where you're controlling two people. And like the chain, it has a big part in the combat and what you can do to whoever you're fighting.
It's stuff that I want to get more info on how all of this connects. Like, I think I remember a couple of years ago when we had the Xenoblade 2 thing where I think it was a direct, it wasn't E3, where they like focused in really hard on Xenoblade 2 and explained all of its mechanics and stuff. I want them to do that with Astral Chain, because this is the case where I think that it needs it a little bit for people to really understand what they'd be getting into. And I think we're just close enough that a big blowout on its info would actually be really helpful. But I have this back of my neck feeling that we're basically not going to see much this time, that they're going to tell us a little bit more, but they're still going to be really vague, because I think explaining this game is going to be what makes the appeal go away in a weird way. Or at least I think that's what Platinum might think.
Interesting.
Like, compare kind of with Bayonetta, where telling us a lot about it isn't going to make anything make more sense. You know, where you just kind of play it and then you figure it out as you go. Yeah. I think that's kind of where they're going to go. But I could believe anything at this point with Astral Chain. It's such an out of left field thing.
Yeah, it really came out of nowhere. Like, Platinum has been working on so many things, and then they just throw this out here, and it's like, okay, this exists.
Right, and it's just there, and you know the weirdest thing is I don't remember if we saw the Platinum Games logo in that before I saw the name Hideki Kamiya pop up, but the minute I saw Kamiya, I'm like, wait, who's making this? In the last trailer.
Well, so, yeah,
I don't know. I'm sincerely interested. Yeah, I really like Platinum and what they do, so I want to see where they go with this.
All right,
so woo.
Well, another thing that's likely to be shown is Game Freak's Town. Yes.
The game we don't even have an actual name for yet. We have a working title.
If they don't leave it as Town, I'll be disappointed, because it's been called Town for so long. It just feels right.
Like, did they reveal it E3 last year, or was that a direct?
I think it was a direct, actually.
Okay.
But it's like Octopath Traveler. Where it was like, this is just a working title. No, it's the actual name. I feel like we're getting to that point with Town, but Town looks very interesting to me. I really like the, live in a town kind of monster beat 'em up farmer games like
Rune Factory,
Stardew Valley, like Harvest Moon, stuff like that. So if this is anything like that with like just more of a focus on fighting the monsters, I could totally dig it.
I'm really interested in what this is going to be like in comparison. Is it going to be more like Rune Factory, you think? Or you think it's going to be more of like almost a tower defense kind of setup, but not really? Like, a turn-based RPG setup, but you're also trying to set up defenses to handle the monsters all around town. Or maybe recruit adventurers. Like, I want to know where this goes. So much.
From what I've seen, my guess is that it'll be like Rune Factory in the sense that you got your town and you're taking care of it. Maybe you have a farm or something, and then like some kind of alarm or something goes off. It's like monsters coming, and then you go and you fight the monster, and maybe you're like every time before you fight a monster, you are either growing or obtaining these things to fight it better. and you're just trying to live your life as an honest working farmer dude or girl if they have like
if they let you do the genders.
But these god darn monsters just keep coming up and ruining it.
Yeah. Nah, and then you're gonna find. Then eventually, it's gonna be such a problem that your entire town is gonna make this giant wall, and then later on, they're gonna find out that the wall is actually made of the monsters, and that the monsters are the. This is starting to turn into Attack on Titan, isn't it?
Oh my god.
But honestly, this is just like with Astral Chain. I'm super curious about a lot of it. I want a breakdown of the mechanics, but I would also believe that they won't tell us much. But I'm also like, it looks far enough along that I feel like we're going to get a lot of info. Mm-hmm. Like, especially because I think they're still insistent that it's a 2019 game.
Yeah, they did say 2019, so...
Right, which I'm like, I feel like so many things they've announced are going to get pushed back.
They released a lot this year. I'm afraid of things like crossing it, but I think they might have just barely enough for a big title to come out every month. Right,
that is the scariest thing for my wallet, let me tell you. I'm pretty sure my wallet is the most terrified thing this whole time. It'll feel more dead than the F-Zero franchise by the end of this.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I'm not done beating that horse. But I think if we're gonna get, I want town to get a name, and I don't mean like to get a different name. I mean like I think all they're gonna do is they're gonna tack a word onto it. It's either gonna be like our town, or your town, or my town. Or Switch Town. No. Nah.
Town. All right.
Yeah. But I hope to see something on that too.
Mm-hmm.
This is weird. I want to see everything that Nintendo could have, and I don't have any doubts that they're not going to show it, and that's the craziest thing this year.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Do you think that Platinum is going to allow them to show any new information on Bayonetta 3? Because we haven't had anything on that since the Game Awards 2 years ago.
It's weird. They've been talking about Bayonetta 3 like they have stuff done on it. Yeah. But we've seen nothing.
Exactly.
And I feel like Platinum's just so all over the place that it's hard to know if they really have something, if they really are a ways into development, or if they're only at the very beginning. Or, you know, it's so tricky to tell that I'm going to lean on no this time. I think if we see anything for Bayonetta 3, maybe we'll get another interesting kind of teaser, like a CG-only kind of teaser.
Just show us Bayonetta's new hair. That's all I need.
That's fair. I'm curious if we're going to see anything that elaborates on that weird kind of split that happens in the last trailer, because there's a lot of cool details to that last trailer. Yeah. One of the big things that stuck out to me immediately was normally when she starts shooting the bullets off at things, she'll put them in a pattern of a heart or something just to, you know, be playful.
Yeah.
But she didn't this time. They were erratic. They were everywhere. And to me, that tells me more about this whatever threat she's facing now than anything else possibly could.
Oh, yeah.
Because that screams that she's not sure she can win. And that's crazy for a character with so much confidence.
Oh yeah, definitely. It'll definitely be interesting to see at least a little bit more. Whether or not we get it at E3 is definitely up to debate.
Yeah, that's why I lean on no, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get a CG-only story kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all I got.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I would like to touch upon a little bit the Best Buy leak from a while ago. Do you think that's still relevant? Do you think we could still see the games that were shown off in that?
Refresh my memory on those real quick for me.
Well, the Best Buy leak was a leak that happened a while ago on Best Buy's like game systems, or like their systems that where they store games. There were 3 games that have not officially been announced yet, said they'd come out on the Nintendo Switch, and those were A Link to the Past, Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Metroid Prime Trilogy, and Persona 5. And I do know that that Persona 5 is getting a Dynasty Warriors game coming out on the Switch, but I don't feel like that is necessarily what the Best Buy leak was talking about.
No, but you know what? thinking about that, that gives me an idea for something with Link's Awakening, because it just dawned on me that the whole point of the original Link's Awakening was essentially to be a handheld Link to the Past. What if the big twist here is that Link's Awakening is not the only thing here, and that's why they said reimagining?
So like
what if Link's Awakening is also got Link to the Past in it?
A bundle?
Yeah, like what if this is like the twist that this engine's second half of the game will lead you into Link to the Past?
That'd be pretty interesting.
No, that's my pie in the sky theory here. But maybe that's something that would make a lot of sense to that leak, and the weirdness of it is maybe that Link to the Past and Link's Awakening are connected here. Maybe it's not one game, maybe it's two separate games, but they're both in the same engine being made the same way. And they're happening. I don't know. But, thinking about the Best Buy leak, that's a weird connection that would make sense.
Yeah.
As for Prime Trilogy, though, I don't know. I really don't anymore. I was thinking for so many years, for so long, that this is a no-brainer. It's got to be coming soon, but we've gone so long. Prime 4 has been delayed. I don't know what they're going to do anymore.
I think since Prime got delayed, this is the perfect opportunity to do so, to hold fans over until there can be a better, at least a more substantial update with Prime 4.
Yeah.
Let people play the games that came before to understand what's going on, so that when Prime 4 does eventually come out, everyone will be on the same page, essentially.
Yeah. I could see that, but I also feel like if they were going to do that announcement, unless it was just that they had another work done, that announcement would have come with the delay of Prime 4. Is my thought. I feel like they would have been like, yes, we're delaying Metroid Prime 4, or it's being redone entirely. But to hold you over and make up for that, here's Prime Trilogy. And the fact that they didn't do that is what tells me that something's up. But then again, Metroid has been weird with their announcements. Need I remind anybody that the last major Metroid title we had was announced at the Treehouse.
Yeah. I disagree with that only because it was such just a minor video. And the Metroid Prime Trilogy port coming to the Switch, I feel like is a big enough announcement to warrant it in some form of direct instead of just an update video on Metroid Prime 4. I don't think Nintendo's much of a company to do this is what's going on with this, but as an apology, here's this.
That's fair. They don't apologize. That's not really their thing.
They don't need to, usually.
Yeah.
They need to apologize for the online service. But that's
I was going to say. Well,
do you think we're going to get anything new on the online service? Do you think they'll talk about a new thing going on with it?
Oh, I sure hope so. But before we get to that, before we leave Metroid
for a moment. What you got?
I'm thinking about the possibility of, what do we know about, I think, Mercury Steam? Do we know the guys that bit the Metroid 2 remake? Do we know if they're doing anything right now? Do we know what they're up to?
I have no idea, to be completely honest with you.
Well, because I'm curious if there's a possibility that they're working on another Metroid title as well. That maybe we're going to see another 2D Metroid. Maybe a port of Samus Returns being announced. Or maybe they're finally getting to do what they wanted to do in the first place, the remake of Metroid Fusion.
There definitely could be, but like I said, I have no idea. I haven't heard anything myself.
Same. I haven't been keeping up with Mercury Steam's stuff right now, but I also don't think that they even have anything kind of announced of what they're working on. We've seen all sorts of weird stuff going on in the Metroid franchise, And I'm just hoping for anything, because I would love to see this stuff continue. I know Samus Returns' data logs hint at another game. Actively hint at a continuation of the story for things going on, something that might happen after Fusion. And I feel like Mercury Steam is the team to do it, because they seem to understand Metroid pretty well. Yeah. Not perfectly, mind you, but they also were being reined in by Nintendo to make a remake rather than to make a new thing.
Yeah.
So there's this possibility that Mercury Steam has something in the works that's Metroid related. But they could also be going back to doing something else. For all we know, they're working on Castlevania again. But there's that. Maybe we'll finally get that turn for another Metroid-based remake of, like, say, Super Metroid.
Mm-hmm.
That is the announcement that I doubt, for the record. On any of my theories, I don't even believe that's going to happen. But, like...
But you'll mention it anyway, just so you know, the people know that it's out there.
No, so that way if it's confirmed in the next week here, and I see that, I'm going to be like, I called it! And that's all I have to do.
I didn't believe myself and I called it.
Well, see, that's because you can't believe in yourself. You have to believe in the me that believes in you.
Row.
Fight the power. Alright, but let's go back now to the online service thing.
Yes. Do you think they're going to be an update on that? Any changes? Anything new? A new online service only game like Tetris 99? Well, what do you think?
I think if we don't see like a game like Animal Crossing with all sorts of crazy online functionality, that we won't at all. That I don't think we'll see anything. Which is weird, because like most people will be jump straight to, I think we're going to get the Super Nintendo Online.
That's what I think.
Which is what I want. Mm-hmm. I want nothing more. Like, flat out, you don't even have to show me a Smash character. If you show me that, I'll walk away okay with this. But I feel like they won't announce that here.
Mm-hmm.
Which is stupid, and I really think they need to. But I feel like they're going to dodge it. And I want them not to. Because if Super Nintendo Online comes, come on! All my Metroid ramblings can be done away with because Super Metroid on Switch.
Well, yeah, that'd be one way to fix that.
Give me Link to the Past. Give me Mario All-Stars.
Give me yeah, Mario All-Stars has all of those, but I think they would just do a game at a time.
They'll just do Mario World.
Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I love Super Mario World.
Yeah, but I didn't grow up with it.
Really?
Yeah, no, it's the only Mario game I didn't have.
That was my first one. Like, I didn't get to play the original till later.
My dad had every single Mario game but World, and we never got World. I didn't even know World was a thing for so long that when I finally did get to play a bit of World, I was playing with a friend next to me, and I hit the item box that dropped the feather, and I walked away from it because I was like, I don't know what it does. It's probably just a background object. And he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, what?
Why would that be a background object?
I don't know. I wasn't sure myself. I didn't understand Mario World. It wasn't for me. All I ever knew was the Tanuki leaf, So I'm seeing whatever this is, and my brain did not draw the connection at the time. I was a little kid. I was crazy.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
And I look back at that, and that's one of my favorite funny stories to think of with Mario World. Is the only time I ever played it, I got chewed at for not picking up the feather. Because I didn't know. And but I think if they could finally put Super Nintendo onto the Switch, that would be fabulous. I would really love to see the N64 a little sooner, because that's my childhood, but...
Yeah, but I don't think we're going to get anything with the N64.
Yeah, well...
Not for a while.
Nintendo could win everything to me if they were like, we're putting Super Nintendo and Nintendo 64 on this thing at the same time.
They'll do Game Boy before they do that.
I didn't even think about Game Boy, but that's probably what's next instead.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? If that's going to be the thing, then I will retract my previous statement. That's what they'll announce for the online. That'll be the only thing if Animal Crossing's not here.
I think they'll have both.
Right.
But yeah. What are some other random guesses you got for things that Nintendo could announce? Like the legendary Pikmin 4, maybe, that has been rumored for so long, and Miyamoto won't stop saying that it's like, it's ready,
coming.
It's coming. Yeah, don't worry, we've been working on it. It's basically done. 5 years ago.
Meanwhile, over in the parallel universe where Duke Nukem Forever came out at its actual release date, or not actual release date, when it was originally announced.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I feel like that Pikmin 4 and like F-Zero and Kid Icarus and all these other franchises we're waiting on have just kind of been snapped out of existence with the Infinity Gauntlet.
Mm.
And that's why I asked for help coming up with that pun earlier. Thank you.
No problem.
But I feel like we're just not going to see it. But at the same time, I want to for a good reason. And I think maybe we will hear about it, if that makes sense. I feel like we'll hear something. But what I feel like is more likely is a Pikmin 3 port.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I mean, Pikmin 3 was a pretty good game.
Right, because Pikmin 3 is also like the Pikmin game that most people will tell you it's like the best one.
Mm-hmm.
Not entirely, because there's so much love for Pikmin 1 still, but like that Pikmin 3 is the game that took all the mechanics of the previous two and managed to make them work, and also has a great multiplayer mode that nobody got to play.
Yeah.
Because who owns a Wii U? And then we stare at each other and realize that both of us own a Wii U.
Yes, but that's just because we're big Nintendo nerds.
Yep. So I think 4 is going to be teased in the same way that Prime 4 was teased, where they're going to say something about it. Yeah, they're gonna have the space background. We're gonna think it's something Metroid Prime, and then we're gonna see Olimar's ship go right by. Like it's gonna have the Metroid logo stars start to come together, and then just Olimar crashes into it.
That would be great.
But I think we'll get a tease for Pikmin 4, and not anything else for sure. But that we'll get confirmation of a port of Pikmin 3, and not as the apology thing like they were doing with Prime, or like I would think they do with Prime. Just outright, Pikmin 3 is the big news, but Pikmin 4 is coming.
Okay, yeah, I could definitely see
kind of like we did with Isabelle and Smash, and then Animal Crossing.
Or when they announced Dream Factory 4, it was being ported to the Switch, and like 5's coming.
Yeah, I feel like that's what's going to go on with this one in particular. But is there any, or do you play enough Pikmin to really like want to have anything specific about it?
I have not played a single Pikmin game.
I played like a few hours of the first one, but then this one I would have played more, but my hard drive corrupted.
Ouch!
So I was unable to continue. So that was fun, but. I would have kept going on that. It seemed interesting enough. I just think the time management thing was not my thing. And a 4 could do a lot with making that kind of balance around a little bit. I hear 3 did a really good job of mixing that up to where it's like, as long as you're making progress every day, you're doing okay.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So 4 will probably build on that idea if it does.
Fair enough.
Think they'll do multiple captains again, though.
I think so. It allows for different perspectives. It allows for different characters that could be interesting.
We'll get online multiple captains. We'll get 8-player captains. And then we'll have like 1 billion freaking Pikmin on the screen, and then the game will crash, and it will crash a lot, and then they'll patch it, and it will crash more. And then we'll be like, wait, who the hell is working on these bug fixes? And then we'll see...
It's Louis.
I was going to say Bethesda, but that works too.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Pikmin has any place in Nintendo's E3. But something I do think is going to be talked about that hasn't been... Though I don't know if it's been rumored about, but I feel like we're going to get a new installment of one of the many... Mario spin-off titles. More specifically, one of the sports titles.
It has been just long enough for anything other than tennis.
Yeah, like I could see Mario Strikers come back, or even Mario
Golf. We wish for
Golf.
that every year for Strikers.
The new Mario Strikers, the new Mario Golf. Just don't do another sports mix, please. That takes so much away from how good those games are.
We see I think the biggest appeal about the Mario sports games is that they super focus into this one thing and try to do it really well.
And make it ridiculous.
Yeah, and that's where they fall short with the mix.
Yes.
I don't know, I want Mario Hoops back. I've missed it. I never played it in the first place, but I missed it.
But yeah, I think we're in line for a new Mario side game.
I could see that. Something other than Mario Maker.
Yeah.
Though while we have the moment to focus on Mario Maker,
yeah,
I think we're going to see the extra styles reveal another one.
Yeah,
just one.
I agree with you actually, because this game's coming out right in June, and they're just going to be like, by the way, along with 3D World, you also get, what do you think it's going to be?
My bet, as crazy as it is Galaxy.
I've heard that tossed around. That'd be interesting.
I've also heard a lot of Mario Land 2, but I feel like Mario Land 2 would be... I feel like it's almost enough to be in line with the other styles. It'd just be a little weird. But I don't really know for sure on that one, because I haven't played through Mario Land 2 in so long.
I think it's going to be Doki Doki Panic.
Mario 2 USA.
Yes. I feel like it's close but different enough to have a lot of cool things. Like you could do like your own little things with the doors and picking turnips and they're just like enemies or whatever. And you could even have freaking like Wart and whatever I forgot the mouse's name, the bomb mouse.
Mouser.
Mouser.
We were really close.
Yeah, the Mouser and Wart as kind of like
Bowser Jr. and Bowser sort of equivalents, but they work different anyway, so you have to.
Exactly.
I could see that, and I would love it, especially if they didn't do the 8-bit, but they took the freaking Mario All-Stars, and there it is. That's the idea. I think that the other styles option will be a Mario All-Star skins for the other games.
Really?
Just skins. Like, it's still the same physics as the Mario 3 version or the Mario 1 version, but you do the Mario All-Stars paint instead.
That'd be interesting, but like at that point, I don't think it would just be in the other styles, because the thing about the other styles is they're completely
they mechanically work different.
Than the
which is where Mario 2 USA makes more sense, really, because that fits right in line with everything.
Exactly. Either that or Surprise Odyssey.
You know, I'm kind of curious how they'd make it work, and I would love to see it, just because it sounds, like, interesting, especially if the multiplayer still works.
Oh, yeah.
Because then you could do capture battles.
That'd be funny.
Where you capture each other, but it means your cap is still floating around, so you gotta use the cap to try and catch an enemy to maybe try and get yourself back from your other self. Yeah. That could be fun. That could be way too fun. So...
But yeah, that's looking good.
I have one question.
What's that?
Do you know if Killer Queen Black came out?
I have no idea. I remember they announced that, and I don't remember seeing anything about that.
Okay, because that's a game that I think would actually be a strong thing for Nintendo Online. And if the Switch version hasn't come out yet, then... Car, motor, passing by. If the Switch version hasn't come out yet, that's something I could see them shadow dropping, actually.
Oh yeah, it's still set to release this year.
Yep, but no actual release date. So I can see that being one of the 2 shadow drops. I say 2 for a reason. The other one I think is coming is Cadence of Hyrule, because we have had this announcement, or not announcement, that they said that it's releasing in June, but they wouldn't tell us when in June. You know, and I feel like that game looks like it's basically done. Yeah. You know, everything we've seen about it looks like it's almost completely finished. So I feel like we're going to see the shadow drop right at their E3 thing. It's going to be one of the... This comes out right now. Seriously, you can stop watching the conference now. Go get it.
It's funny. Okay. It's funny that you mentioned these, because I was just about to ask you what Nindies you think we're going to see.
Those are 2 major ones in particular.
I think we're going to get a trailer for Shantae 5.
Ah, really?
Because that was announced, but we haven't really seen much of it yet. I think we could see more here.
We're going to get an animated trailer.
Yes, and then she will be in Smash.
And 3 frames of gameplay. Wait.
No, that's just my one wish in life, for Shantae to get into Smash. Like, I don't think it's going to happen, but if it did, well then I don't need anything else. I will live in my cardboard box since Animal Crossing wasn't shown. And just be happy that I got Shantae.
Yeah. Well, you know, honestly, that's... I would rather Shantae be the representative of indies in Smash Brothers more than any other character, even if, you know, at this point Minecraft has become more iconic. Yeah. It's because Shantae is like the oldest indie franchise in so many ways. Like, not actually the oldest, but I mean, she's one of the most recognizable icons for indie games.
Yeah,
at this point.
I agree.
She's been around the longest, Game Boy Color, you know, and also been with Nintendo the longest. For a long time, Shantae was a Nintendo exclusive franchise. Yeah. Even though it wasn't officially a Nintendo product, you know?
But that would be nice.
Yeah. I have my doubts, but I also don't close that door. Because I can't logically say that this isn't going to happen. You know, like I don't have enough proof in my mind that she wouldn't fit in Smash Brothers.
Oh.
And come on, you can't tell me you wouldn't straight up start dancing the minute you hear "Dance to the Danger" in a Smash trailer.
I'm gonna just do what you did, and I'm gonna doubt myself, and maybe it'll happen.
Yeah,
but let's get right into the Smash since we're already in the topic. Smash is a pretty big announcement. Well, we already know that it's out and stuff, but the new fighter or fighters, I think that this E3 they're gonna announce 2 of the next Fighter Pass characters.
I agree with that. Actually, I think we're getting 2 at least announcements, if not both of them being shadow dropped.
They're not gonna both be shadow dropped. I don't think that, but that would be
Ryu
crazy.
And Roy.
I know,
and
but
Lucas.
that was completely different. That wasn't paid. That was like 2 older characters from a previous game and 1 new one.
This is true.
Mm-hmm.
This is true.
Plus, with what I've noticed is with each new character, there's a big patch to go with it for the new. It's a new version.
That's a good point. So far, we've only had the big numeral patches whenever this happens. Like, didn't Piranha Plant push us up into 2.0?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and Joker pushed us to 3. So whoever's next will probably push us to 4. If we get 2 characters at once, that's really interesting.
So, who do you think the 2 characters are going to be, and which point of the direct do you think they're going to be announced?
I'm going to have 2 different categories for both of my 2.
All right, go ahead.
Because there's the one category of what I'm pretty sure they're going to be versus the category of what I want them to be.
That's fair.
Because I've had this consistent thing with Smash characters where I predict one and then I'm wrong. Or I predict that it won't be this guy, and then I'm wrong. Like I was very solid on the stance that we wouldn't be getting Incineroar, and boy, has that aged well, hasn't it? So, like I no longer hold any ground on that kind of idea, so I'm just going to separate them.
All right.
But I think the first character we're going to get for Smash stuff isn't going to be revealed at Nintendo. That
really?
We were hinting at this earlier.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be revealed at Microsoft, and I think that is going to be Banjo. There has been some odd just sort of things going on with the Banjo branding lately, with little stuff going around everywhere related to it. And it's not just people talking about Banjo because suddenly they're like, Banjo exists. Because that didn't influence me when people were thinking Geno. It doesn't influence me now.
Yeah.
You know? It's that there's corporate talk. There's little things going on in weird places that I can't not see these puzzle pieces and think that they line up into the perfect image of Banjo and Smash. Mm-hmm. But I think it's going to be announced at Microsoft's conference that they're going to do that to be crazy, to be different. Because Microsoft right now has been all about connecting everywhere and having their hands in everything and have everyone else's hands on them. And it sounds exactly as dirty as it is.
Oh my gosh.
That I can only imagine Banjo being revealed there. I can't see him being revealed at Nintendo stuff. Because I feel like whoever else they have will take a spotlight there. And that it will also be at like the tail end. But they'll want that to be a character people will talk about. And trust me, Banjo would be that guy. So in all honesty, this is where it's tricky. Mm-hmm. But I think Banjo at Microsoft fits better to my head. But then the other character... My second bet is Erdrick. Mm-hmm. Or not Erdrick specifically, but a Dragon Quest rep. And I don't think it's going to just be Erdrick as much as everyone thinks it's going to be. I think it's going to be one of those characters that is a whole franchise spanning one, where you pick different heroes from different games. And they're going to pick 8 of the better liked ones.
That would be interesting, but some of them are really different from the others. Like, the one thing they need to do when making a character that has different palettes is they have to have the same hitboxes and be able to do the same abilities and stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know much about Dragon
Quest. Maybe it would just be Erdrick then, because you're right, they're very different from what I understand.
Yeah,
with a couple of them that are very samey. Like I think the 7, 8, and 11 are all very similar characters, if I remember right. But this is from a guy who has barely touched the Dragon Quest franchise. So, we'll see. But I think our Dragon Quest rep is the other one.
All right.
Because that's another one where I feel like there's been too many little details that just feel too much right for that. But now we get to the other category, the other version.
You want.
What I want them to be.
Okay.
My two like wish list, if it's these two, this is where I'm the happiest. That I think we could open on this first one. And I think that one would be Lloyd Irving. That I think we'll finally get our Tales RPG rep.
Okay.
The Tales franchise is like the third or fourth now because of the sudden impressive resurgence of Dragon Quest. Biggest RPG franchise over in Japan. It's one of the huge ones. You know, it's up there. It's in that top 5. And it's so weird to me that this is a franchise that has been so strong and so like there in Japan and then not recognized over here.
Yeah.
But then again, Persona has been that way for so long. And we got Joker.
That's fair.
And I think it's due time, especially given that Bandai Namco has been working on these, that Lloyd's entire moveset is in the game all under Mii Fighter abilities. Like, every single one of those. Like, I've actually sat down and built that moveset just to be identical. I know all of those moves off the top of my head because they were the exact ones I use when I play as Lloyd in Symphonia. I can't help but feel like Lloyd is already here. So why are the pieces not here? Why is the character not here? And I think they would start, or at least fairly early, have Lloyd because he would not be as big as the other character, which would be Shantae, in my mind. But you want to go back to Lloyd for a second.
When you put it like that, that his moveset's already there, it kind of makes it feel like it takes away from the value of him that would be as a fighter. Like, if he just has all the stuff that the Mii Fighter can already do, except he has 2 swords.
True. Well, there are other moves he has as well, because one thing about Tales games is you get so many arts. Like, just so many arts.
They would need to change it up.
Yeah, and they could, actually, very easily, too. For example, instead of just Demon Fang, you could do double Demon Fang. Or instead of Tempest, you could put Beast on his side, where it's this, like, shoulder tackle that just has a lot of knockback to it, but it would have low damage. Something like that. I feel like a Tales rep would make a lot of sense, and it would either be Lloyd, who is just the most well-recognized at this point. Like, it'd be like, why would you pick any Final Fantasy character other than Cloud? You wouldn't. Why would you pick any Tales character other than Lloyd? You really wouldn't, unless it's one of those major tie-in things for that one Tales game that Bandai Namco said they're working on and then have told us nothing, which I really should have put in that miscellaneous games thing, huh?
I don't know. I cannot speak anymore. No, I feel like Yuri also be a good candidate. I feel like even though he may not be as recognizable as Lloyd, I feel like he might be even more popular than Lloyd. He
is the most well-liked, kind of the same way that Roy is like the most liked Fire Emblem Lord. You know, that just people really like him, and I completely understand why. I went slightly British there. I went Lloyd. But I worry that it's just because Lloyd is the iconic one that they would pick Lloyd.
Which is fair.
If I could have Yuri instead, please. He would be different enough in a lot of ways too, because he's also one of the abnormal Tales protagonists. Because the way the Tales main characters tend to work is there's the ones that work like Lloyd, and then there's the ones that don't work like Lloyd. The other tier, the almost anti-hero-ish ones, these are the ones that get Azure Edge instead of Demon Fang.
Like Leon.
Like Leon, like Yuri, what's his name? The dude in Graces. Asbel, where they're the very different sort of secondary tier ones that they don't get like moves like Demon Fang because they're not the righteous hero type, where the ones that get Demon Fang are the ones that are the righteous hero type, which is always weird to me. But I would like Yuri a lot more because his moveset's very different and he could do some really interesting things, especially if you take into account like just the ability to use Overlimit via your taunts, because that's how you do it in Vesperia. So it'd be a character doing something genuinely different with taunts, for example.
It would be interesting, yeah. And your second pick was Shantae?
Yes.
Yeah,
I think they would end on Shantae, because I feel like Dance Through the Danger, a song alone has the kind of presence that would end a direct. That she would be the one more thing, maybe off the tail of the Shantae 5 thing like you're thinking.
Yeah.
that they could do that and then show Shantae being here and show all the costumes and all the cool stuff for it, and we could have this huge blowout of Shantae. But I'm curious if you think they would just do her transformations, or if they'd mix up the her physical moveset, maybe doing the Pirate's Curse stuff, and then her transformations being specials.
She's definitely going to have a mixture of things, but I feel like her transformations would be a part of her moveset. I feel like they'd be part of a lot of the normals that she can do. Like side smash could be her elephant transformation, and down smash could be like the crab transformation, like clip. And like dash could be like monkey bullet, and I feel like her specials could be a lot of her magic abilities, because she's got several different magics that she does.
That's right, with the spells.
Yeah, like fireball and mirror bubble, invincibility bubble, stuff like that. There's a lot to choose from.
Right. Shantae's got such a versatile moveset. It's kind of like picking just specific moves for characters like Samus or like a Belmont, where you have to think a little bit about what they'll do, because there's a couple different ways it could go.
Yeah.
So,
well, for my picks, what I think is going to happen is I'm kind of in the same boat as you as for who the characters are. I do think it's going to be Erdrick and Banjo. But I think that either the way they're going to be announced will be a little bit different. I think that Erdrick will either be announced at the beginning of the Direct or at the end of the tournament. Guess we'll find out. And I think Banjo will be saved for the end, just because of how big of an impact that would be. So Banjo, after like a lot of like important characters got in, like K. Rool and like Ridley and stuff. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure Banjo is on the top of the list now of what people want.
Banjo, and if people still want him, Gino.
Yeah, definitely. And for characters I want, Banjo and Shantae. Yeah, I would love to have Shantae in there, but I know it's not likely, but I can always dream. But I think one last thing I really want to talk about is what do you think the likelihood of it being, instead of Banjo, it being Steve?
Minecraft Steve?
Yeah.
That's a hard one to me, because I feel like Minecraft is a game that wouldn't be well represented by a character. It would be well represented by a stage.
That's very fair.
You know, but that's the same thing I was saying about Metroid before, and then they're like, oh yeah, Ridley. And they're like, but Prime. Mm-hmm. Prime doesn't have any stage other than the one that nobody actually likes. And like Talon 4 is amazing and nobody seems to want to put it in. You know, things like that, where I feel like the big allure of some of these games is their environments.
Yeah.
But if they miss the point with it with Metroid, then they're probably going to miss the point with it there too. So I feel like Minecraft Steve would work, or not work, would make sense to include, but I have no idea how it would really work, because it would just be like, you just put his weapons there, but that's another thing that loses the point of Minecraft with the building. You know, and you could have building elements, but then how does that work?
I feel like it would be interesting, but I have all my faith in Sakurai. He can do whatever he wants, and if there's anyone who can make a good moveset, it's Sakurai.
Yeah, you know, considering how much he's managed to work with nothing sometimes, like with Captain Falcon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would believe anything at this point with what he can come up with. I don't doubt that. I'm just having such a hard time picturing an actual moveset, you know?
No, that's fair, but I guess at this point, like everything else I've been saying, we'll just have to wait and see at E3.
Yeah. Alright, so final bets on the Smash characters then. We're sure you and I are both thinking it's going to be Banjo and Erdrick.
Yep, that's my thoughts, and if it's not, I will be genuinely surprised.
What are the chances of it being a character being added from another franchise, or from a franchise that's already here, but they're not part of the DLC pass, they're a free character?
Like Piranha Plant?
Yeah, something like that.
I don't think it's very likely, because of how long these characters have been taking to develop on their own, I feel like they're focusing mainly on the DLC pass since they got Piranha Plant out of the way first.
Fair enough. Think they'll announce that there will be more characters other than that, like a season 2 for the pass?
Not until this one's well done and over with for a little bit.
That's also fair.
Well, that's all I've got to say for this E3. What about you?
I think my brain is too tired to do more.
Well then, we hope you guys enjoyed our discussion, and we hope to see you soon. Let's see how this E3 goes, and we'll see you with the next video.
Yeah.
See you later.
Yeah, I'm gonna go pass out and we'll call the Wii U ambulance, you know? Oh, no, wait, that's out of service now, isn't it?
Yes.
Then what do we do?
They switched it.
I hate you.